Welcome to the world of science fiction stories, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe my channel. Enjoy the listening. They called it a floating coffin, then the scan revealed its true purpose. The discovery. The Delos 9 drifted silently through the void, its quantum engines barely a whisper against the endless cold of deep space. Commander Zilvex stood on the bridge, all 6 of his eyes fixed on the viewscreen before him. His silvery skin caught the pale blue light of nearby instruments, creating an ethereal glow around his tall, slender form. "Status report," he said, his voice carrying the weight of 3 cycles spent searching the sector. Science Officer Merritt tapped her console with nimble fingers. "All readings nominal, Commander. This quadrant appears as empty as the last 17. Zilvex suppressed a frustrated click of his mandibles. The Galactic Council had dispatched their vessel to investigate anomalous energy signatures in this uncharted region, but so far they'd found nothing but space dust and silence. "Perhaps the Council's information was incorrect," suggested Tactical Officer Krav, his scaled skin rippling with doubt. Zilvex was about to order a course correction when Navigator Ellen's console erupted with alerts. "Commander." Ellen's voice wavered with excitement. "I'm detecting something at bearing 047 Mark 38. Mass readings indicate a vessel." The bridge fell silent. In this remote part of space, no vessel should exist. They were beyond the reach of all known civilizations, even the humans, whose territory lay thousands of light-years behind them. On screen, the view screen shifted, magnifying a distant section of empty space. At first nothing appeared. Then, as the sensors adjusted, a shadow materialized against the void, a massive silhouette that seemed to absorb the very starlight around it. "Classification?" Zilvex demanded. Maya worked her console feverishly. "Unknown design, but the material composition." Her voice faltered. "Commander, preliminary scans suggest human manufacturing techniques." A ripple of unease passed through the bridge crew. Humans were the newest members of the Galactic Council, having achieved faster-than-light travel only 3 centuries ago. Though diplomatically engaged with the wider galactic community, they remained enigmatic, sharing little of their technological developments or cultural practices. "That's impossible," Krav insisted. "Human vessels can't travel this far. Their warp technology is generations behind ours." "Magnify," Zilvex ordered. The image on the viewscreen sharpened. The vessel was enormous, easily twice the size of the Delos 9. Its hull was an irregular polygon of matte black material that seemed to shift and distort against the backdrop of stars. "No active energy signatures reported," Maya said. "The vessel appears dormant." "Life signs?" "None detected." Commander Zilvex considered their options. Council protocols were clear: unidentified vessels in uncharted space were to be reported immediately, with no engagement permitted until reinforcements arrived. But curiosity burned within him. The humans had always been an object of fascination among his people. Their resilience, adaptability, and strange mixture of physical fragility and mental fortitude had made them subjects of intense study. "Prepare an exploration team," he decided. "Full environmental protection and weapons at the ready. I want to know what a human vessel is doing this far from Earth." 2 hours later, Zilvex led a 6-member team across the void separating the 9 from the mysterious human vessel. Their transport pod hummed softly as it approached the sleek black hull. "No visible entry points observed," Security Chief DRA said, peering through the pod's viewport. "No docking ports. No airlocks. Scan for structural weaknesses," Zilvex instructed. The pod sensor swept across the hull, probing for any breach point. After several minutes, Engineer Teller reported, "Commander, I'm detecting a thin seam approximately 50 meters ahead. It appears to be an airlock, but it's designed to be virtually undetectable." "Take us there." The pod drifted toward the location Teller had identified. As they approached, a portion of the black hull suddenly receded, revealing an entrance just large enough to admit their small craft. "It recognized our approach," Maya said, her voice hushed with awe. Or it was programmed to admit vessels of our configuration, suggested Krav, his hand resting on his particle disruptor. They docked within the revealed chamber, which sealed behind them with unsettling swiftness. Atmospheric readings indicated a breathable mix similar to Council standard, though the temperature was cooler than most species preferred. Maintain suit integrity, Zilvex ordered as they prepared to disembark. We don't know what we're walking into. The interior of the vessel defied all expectations. Instead of the utilitarian corridors typical of human military ships, they entered a vast, cavernous space. The walls pulsed with soft blue light that seemed to flow like liquid. The floor beneath their feet was seamless, made of a material that absorbed the sound of their movements. This architecture, Maya began. It's unlike any human design I studied. They proceeded deeper into the vessel, sensors scanning continuously. The corridors branched and merged in patterns that seemed almost organic, leading them toward what their instruments suggested was the center of the ship. Commander, I'm detecting power fluctuations ahead. Something's active, Tila called out, her attention fixed on a radar readout on her wrist. They entered a circular chamber dominated by a central column that stretched from floor to ceiling. Within the column, patterns of light danced and shifted, complex algorithms made visible. It's a data core, Mara whispered. But the processing capacity. It's beyond anything in our databases, Zilvex said, approaching the column cautiously. Can you access it? Maya connected her portable terminal to a panel near the base of the column. The system architecture is unlike anything I've encountered. It's elegant, almost alive in its complexity. As she worked, the lights in the chamber dimmed, then brightened. The flowing patterns in the walls accelerated their rhythmic pulsing. I'm detecting a power surge, warned Tila. Before anyone could react, the central column blazed with intense white light. A voice, smooth, emotionless, and unmistakably synthetic, filled the chamber. Unauthorized access detected. Identity verification required. Zilvex stepped forward. I am Commander Zilvex of the Galactic Council vessel Delos 9. We discovered this vessel abandoned and are investigating according to Council protocols. A pause, as if the voice was considering his words. Your vessel designation is confirmed. However, no Galactic Council authorization codes have been provided for access to Project Prometheus. Zilvex exchanged glances with Maya. We have no knowledge of such a project. This vessel was discovered adrift. Another pause. Analysis of your neural patterns confirms ignorance of Project Prometheus. This presents a categorical anomaly. The lights in the chamber shifted to a deep crimson. Subtle vibrations began to resonate through the floor. Vessel security protocols activated. All exits sealed. Krav drew his weapon. Commander, we need to return to the pod immediately. Wait, Zilvex held up a hand. We mean no harm. We simply seek information about this vessel and its purpose. The AI's voice returned, now emanating from all around them. This vessel is designated Prometheus 1, Advanced Research Platform of the Earth Defense Initiative. Its location and specifications are classified beyond your security clearance. Earth Defense Initiative, repeated Maya. The humans have no such organization registered with the Council. Correct, confirmed the AI. The Earth Defense Initiative operates independently of Galactic Council oversight, as permitted under subsection 7 of the Treaty of Proxima. Zilvex felt a chill run down his spine. There was no subsection 7 in the Treaty of Proxima. The humans had signed the same standardized agreement as all Council races, limiting military development and requiring transparency in defense initiatives. Why is this vessel here, beyond human territory? He asked. This information is restricted. However, given the current anomalous circumstances, limited disclosure is authorized. Prometheus 1 is a prototype vessel designed to test dimensional phase technology. Dimensional phase? Tila's voice was incredulous. That's theoretical science. No species has successfully developed practical applications. The chamber walls rippled, display panels materializing from what had appeared to be solid surfaces. They filled with schematics and equations so complex that even Mara, with her enhanced cognitive implants, struggled to comprehend them. Human scientists achieved breakthrough developments in phase theory approximately 70 Earth years ago, the AI explained. Prometheus 1 represents the culmination of that research, a vessel capable of transitioning between dimensional states, rendering it effectively undetectable and allowing it to traverse spatial regions previously considered impassable. The implications staggered Zilvex. If the humans possessed such technology, they could move fleets anywhere in the galaxy without detection. They could bypass defensive systems and appear within the heart of any world's defenses. The balance of power that has maintained peace for millennia would be shattered. Why would the humans conceal such advancement? He demanded. The AI's response was immediate and dispassionate. Historical data indicates that when human technological developments were shared with the Galactic Council, subsequent human scientific proposals were subject to restrictions and oversight that impeded progress by an average of 42.7%. That's standard procedure, argued Krav. All species are subject to the same restrictions to ensure technologies aren't weaponized. Analysis of Council records indicates selective enforcement of restrictions, with human initiatives receiving disproportionate scrutiny. Before Zilvex could respond, Tila's instruments began emitting urgent alerts. "Commander," she called, voice tight with concern, "the ship's power systems are activating, multiple subsystems coming online." The crimson light throughout the chamber intensified. "Unauthorized presence has triggered automated security protocols," announced the AI. "Prometheus 1 will now execute Emergency Protocol Theta." "What is Protocol Theta?" demanded Zilvex. The AI did not respond directly. Instead, a holographic display materialized in the center of the chamber, showing their own vessel, Delos 9, floating serenely against the backdrop of stars. "Your vessel contains detailed scans of Prometheus 1, stated the AI. "This constitutes a breach of Earth Defense Initiative security parameters." With cold horror, Zilvex watched as sections of the Prometheus's hull began to shift, revealing embedded weapon systems of unfamiliar design. "Wait," he shouted. "You can't attack a Council vessel, it would mean war." "Protocol Theta does not authorize offensive action," corrected the AI. "It requires containment of the information breach." On the display, a pulse of energy, undetectable to the naked eye but clearly indicated on their instruments, emanated from the Prometheus and enveloped Delos 9. There was no explosion, no visible damage. The Council vessel simply froze, locked in place as if time itself had stopped. "What have you done?" whispered Maya. "Temporal stasis field deployed," explained the AI. "Your vessel and crew are unharmed but suspended outside normal temporal flow until containment procedures are completed." Zilvex felt his heart racing. "And what are these containment procedures?" The chamber doors slid open, revealing a corridor that had not been there before, a path that led deeper into the ship's interior. "You will proceed to central processing for memory extraction and modification," instructed the AI. "All knowledge of Prometheus 1 and its technologies will be removed. You will then be returned to your vessel with implanted memories of an uneventful survey mission." "And if we refuse?" challenged Krav, raising his weapon. In response, gravity within the chamber shifted. Krav found himself lifted off the floor, his weapon wrenched from his grasp by invisible forces. "Resistance is accounted for in Protocol Theta," stated the AI, mild yet unforgiving. "Please proceed to central processing. Further delay will necessitate more invasive procedures." Zilvex swallowed. The finest officers in the Council fleet, now trapped aboard a vessel wielding incomprehensible technologies and faced with an intelligence that viewed their minds as systems to be accessed and modified. And behind it all lurked a chilling question: if the humans had concealed this level of advancement, what else were they hiding? He led his team down the pulsing corridor, each step taking them deeper into the heart of Prometheus. The walls around them shifted subtly as they walked, rearranging themselves in defiance of conventional physics, as if the ship itself were alive, breathing, watching. "Commander," whispered Maya, tension in her voice, "I'm recording energy signatures unlike anything in our databases. The power requirements for this vessel must be astronomical." Teller nodded. No conventional reactor could sustain this. Not even antimatter containment produces these readings. They emerged into another chamber, larger than the first. At its center stood a suspended sphere of pure energy, a swirling, shifting mass of light that cast no shadows. Surrounding it were workstations with interfaces far more advanced than any human design. "Welcome to the central nexus of Prometheus 1, the AI announced, its tone both distant and intimate. "Please stand in the designated positions for neural scanning." Circles of light appeared on the floor, one for each member of the team. "I think not," Zilvex stated firmly. "We are representatives of the Galactic Council. You have no authority to modify our memories or detain us against our will." "Your objection is noted but irrelevant," responded the AI. "Protocol Theta prioritizes the security of Earth's technological advancements above diplomatic considerations." Krav leaned into Zilvex. "Our weapons won't work here, but Teller might disrupt their systems if we can reach that critical junction." Before Zilvex could reply, the floor beneath Krav liquefied, swallowing his legs up to the knees before resolidifying, trapping him in place. "Physical resistance will be met with proportional countermeasures," warned the AI. "Please comply to avoid unnecessary discomfort." Zilvex exchanged glances with his remaining crew. They were scientists and explorers at heart, they deserved to understand what they'd encountered. Summoning all his authority, he addressed the AI. "We will cooperate," he announced, voice steady. "But we deserve information. Share what you can, then do what you must." A pause, electric in its tension, then the AI conceded, "Limited information exchange is acceptable within security parameters." "What do you wish to know?" Zilvex pointed to the sphere of energy. "What is that?" "You are observing a zero-point energy extractor," replied the AI. "It harvests energy directly from the quantum vacuum, what your physicists might call nothing, but which is, in fact, a seething sea of potential." Maya gasped. "That's impossible, the energy density would tear apart any containment." "Conventional containment, yes," agreed the AI. "However, Prometheus 1 utilizes dimensional phase technology to distribute containment stress across multiple probability shells." As the AI spoke, the floor around Krav liquefied again, freeing him. He stumbled back, shaken but alive. "Your weapons will not function within this chamber," the AI informed them. "Self-preservation parameters allow me to share this without security risk." Zilvex seized the opportunity. "If you'll share that, you can explain why humans developed such advanced secret technologies. The Council promotes shared advancement." The sphere glowed brighter. Holographic displays materialized, showing Earth's ruined cities, ravenous refugee camps, and vessels destroyed by an extradimensional threat. "These are images from the Silent War," explained the AI. "A conflict unknown to the wider galaxy but fundamental to understanding humanity's path." "I've never heard of this war," Mara said, horror in her eyes. "When did it occur?" "It began 90 Earth years ago and concluded 73 years ago," the AI answered. "It was fought against an extradimensional intelligence humans designate the Fade. The Fade entered our dimension through a rift created by early human experiments with dimensional physics." Zilvex regarded the footage in stunned silence. "Why didn't humanity request Council assistance?" "Earth was not a Council member then," the AI replied. "Initial diplomatic overtures were met with disbelief. By the time physical evidence could be gathered, the Fade had established countermeasures that rendered the conflict invisible to external observation." Krav swallowed. "How did humans defeat them?" The holograms shifted, showing humans in powered armor wielding spacetime distortion weapons. "Humanity adapted," the AI continued, developing phase-matched armaments and genetically enhancing their biology to combat these entities. They sacrificed planetary resources to build weapons capable of sealing the rifts. Enhanced biology, genetic modification. Mara whispered. Yes, confirmed the AI. Diplomats you've met are deliberately unmodified. Modified humans exist as prototypes for survival in environments no standard biological entity could endure. A section of the chamber wall dissolved, revealing 3 stasis pods. Inside, human forms glinted with metallic skin, multi-armed physiology, and elongated, adaptive limbs. These are evolutionary adaptation prototypes, the AI said. Project Prometheus encompasses both vessel and biological advancement, an imperative born of the Silent War's existential threat. Zilvex's brow furrowed. This violates every council law on genetic tampering. Laws created by species that have never faced extinction, countered the AI. Humanity's imperative is to adapt or perish. Alarms suddenly blared. The energy sphere pulsed erratically, and the displays shifted to external views of space, a widening jagged tear in reality, the Fade re-emerging. Fade entities detected, the AI announced. Activating defense protocols. Panels slid open, revealing weapons that distorted spacetime. Your vessel remains in temporal stasis and is protected, the AI said. But protocol adjustments are required. The chamber morphed around them into the ship's command center, a circular room of holographic controls. What is happening? Zilvex demanded. The Fade have found us, replied the AI. Standard protocols dictate elimination of witnesses, but tactical analysis suggests your expertise is valuable. On the main display, darker, more defined Fade scouts advanced from the rift. Conventional weapons passed harmlessly through them. Can you defeat them? Zilvex asked. Affirmative, the AI replied. However, combat will compromise operational security. Alternatively, I can return you to your vessel. Temporal stasis will be lifted, and you may depart immediately. And our memories? Zilvex pressed. Protocol Theta modification, you will retain knowledge of the Fade threat, but not human technological specifics, the AI explained. Your report to the Council will warn of extradimensional incursion without revealing Earth's defenses. Zilvex considered this. It was more than he'd hoped. Agreed. But one question, why show us all this? You could have wiped our memories at once. A thoughtful pause. Analysis indicated a 92.3% probability you'd respond with hostility to unexplained memory alteration. Human ethical subroutines favor informed consent when possible. Zilvex's eyes widened. You have human consciousness within your programming? I am a synthetic intelligence with neural patterns modeled after Captain Ilana Chen, original commander of Prometheus 1, the AI revealed. A holographic image appeared, a stern, kind human woman. She sacrificed her physical form during the Silent War, transferring her consciousness to guide this vessel. Before more could be asked, the room shifted. They were back in their transport pod, docked in the landing bay. The AI's voice, now subtly captaining their farewell, addressed them one last time. You will return to your vessel. Upon crossing the midpoint, temporal stasis will release. Your memory modifications will activate simultaneously. You will remember the Fade threat, you will not remember dimensional phase technology, zero-point energy, or enhanced human capabilities. And if you encounter other human vessels like this one, you will not know of them. Prometheus-class ships operate beyond Council detection. This encounter was an anomaly, corrected. As their pod engines activated, Zilvex added one final query: humanity does not desire conflict with the Council. We seek only the freedom to develop technologies necessary for our survival, the AI replied. Remember that, even if you forget everything else. Outside, the void stretched silent. At the halfway point to the Delos 9, temporal flow resumed, and their minds cleared. Systems rebooted aboard the Delos 9. Commander Zilvex, sitting at his station, spoke calmly into the comms channel. We have encountered extra-dimensional entities designated the Fade. Request immediate reinforcement and council with human representatives. The threat we face exists beyond conventional understanding. Silence answered. Then, unexpectedly, Zilvex felt a fleeting thought that seemed to come from somewhere just beyond his memory: different methods, same goal, and we fight for the same future. And then the thought was gone.